What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back with the Mariners post-game recap. First and foremost, thank you to all the new subscribers I've gotten over the last 2 days from my Paul Sewald trade recap, from my trade deadline Mariners recap that I did. Still getting used to the new camera, so I'm like looking down, looking up. And just for all the other subs that have come from every other avenue, I truly, bottom of my heart, appreciate it. I apologize for the stream having to end early today. I've got two sick people in the house right now. So there's some puking going on in this household, not for me, but from some other people. So I had to cut the stream a little bit short. I do apologize. That shouldn't happen again. I probably shouldn't have gone live to begin with, but I just wanted to do it. So it is what it is, but definitely probably shouldn't have even gone live, but we got some few innings and we had a good time. Mariners dropped this game 6-4 to the Boston Red Sox. A frustrating loss that the Mariners had some opportunities to do better in. They had some chances to win this baseball game. That's the name of the title of the video, is Missed Chances for a Reason. Bottom of the first inning. JP walks, Julio singles, Gino singles, 1-0. Cal walks, bases loaded, nobody out. Opportunity for this team to open this game up against Bayo in the first inning. And Canzone pops out. Welcome to the Mariners. Ty strikes out, and who was after Ty? Mike Ford? Mike Ford grounds out. No runs. In the top of the, what inning was it? I'm going to pull up the box score here real quick, so I apologize. I'm looking on the other screen here. Box score in the fourth inning, 1-0 Mariners, bases loaded, nobody out. I think Casas flies out, and then Arroyo hits a ground rule double that, I'm not going to lie, I was not impressed by that route or whatever that was that Canzone had on that play. That looked like a really, really catchable ball. Scores a run. It would have been 1-1, but man, that looked catchable. And I've listened, watch my video. I liked the trade. I thought it was a good deal. I like Dominic Canzone a lot, but man, he looked really unathletic on that play. It's one play. I'm never going to judge anybody based on just one play. But defensively, a little concerning. I was not – he just looked kind of slow going back in that Arroyo fly ball. And that could have been a difference maker. If he catches that 1-1, maybe Miller gets out of that inning and maybe they win the game. Bottom of the eighth, 2 on, 1 out. Mike Ford strikes out. Mike Ford is starting to dip back into – there's a reason why Mike Ford's been DFA'd by a lot of teams. I'm not against Mike Ford being on the roster. I'm not. I think he can add some value as a pinch hitter. He can take a pitch. He can run into a home run. I don't think he's worthless or anything, but he's a bench guy. He can hit. He's a bench guy that can hit some righties. He's got a little pop, but he's going to strike out. There's a reason this guy's bounced around the league. That doesn't mean, listen, there's always guys that sometimes you give them 400 at-bats and they turn into something. I remember in 2009, Russell Branyan was that guy for the Mariners. Remember, you just give Russell Branyan 500 at-bats, what would happen? And it was good, and it worked out. Now Mike Ford, kind of in the same vein. I was like, hey, give this guy 300, 400 at-bats. Let's see what happens. And he still had a good season, but it's just not been – it's starting to cool off. Real quick, too, for any new subscribers, I want to let you guys know my wife and her family are Eagles fans, so that's why I have this, just in case anybody new was wondering. So my wife's family's from Philadelphia, so I give her some love, you know what I mean? And I like the Eagles logo. So just anybody was wondering why there's an Eagles banner up. And I will soon have the Kenny Easley jersey up in the back. I promise everybody. But yeah, so bottom of the eighth, 2 on, 1 out. Mike Ford strikes out, and then Josh Rojas, not a very good debut either. Not only was not a good debut for Rojas going 0 for 4, it was like a really bad looking 0 for 4. No hard contact, no good at-bats from Rojas. He looked bad. Canzone at least did add a double in his debut. Listen, it's one game. You never judge anybody on one game, and I do think Rojas is going to be an upgrade over Colton Wong. I liked the trade. This does not change anything. If one game changes your opinion on the trade, then you need to take a deep breath. But certainly not an endearing start for Josh Rojas there. Rest of the lineup, JP was 0 for 4 the walk. Wonder if he was still a little banged up from yesterday. Julio had his hardest hit ball of the year. A ground ball, went 116 off the bat in the first inning. That was good to see. But then a couple rough ABs for Julio the rest of the way. Gino 2 for 4 with the home run and 3 RBIs. Need to get Gino going. Need to get him going. That's one of the guys that needs to step up, and he's been doing it. He's been better in the second half. Cal was 0 for 2, but did walk twice. Canzone 1 for 4 with a double. Ty France 3 for 4, I think with 2, maybe 3 doubles. I think it was 3 doubles and an RBI. Good to see. They absolutely need Ty France to get hot. I said in my trade deadline video, I think one of the reasons they didn't trade Ty, I don't think there was a lot of suitors for Ty France, and there's not a lot of replacements available on the roster. Teo, you can justify because I think you can replace Teo on this roster with some people. Ty France, I think you need him. I think he's got to at least get back to like a 725 OPS hitter, something that you can work with. So good to see. Maybe that's the start of it. Mike Ford 0 for 4, Rojas 0 for 4. Cade Marlowe did work in a couple hits, solid line drive and field hit. I like what Cade Marlowe's done. I still don't view him as, I think he's more of a fourth outfielder, but that can play. You need those depth guys on your roster. So a good game from Cade Marlowe. Bryce Miller struggled 5 2/3, 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Listen, started out great as Bryce Miller has kind of been doing, and then it just unravels. The home run still a problem. Gave up 2 to Verdugo, and then Reese McGuire got him for 1. You know, listen, Miller's fastball slider, and the slider's not, it's a show me pitch. And it's okay. He's thrown some good ones, but he's a 2-pitch pitcher. And, you know, I like Bryce Miller. I do, but he's a rookie hitting the wall. He's pitched a lot more than we thought Bryce Miller would pitch this year. And there's just, he needs something else there. Like in the bullpen, you can get away with it. You can absolutely get away with it. In the starting rotation, you can't. Now, can you get away with against Oakland, Kansas City? Yeah. Not against Boston. Not going to get away with against Boston. Unless you get some luck, and there can happen, but you'd have to get lucky. And, you know, listen, Miller's going to strike people out. Doesn't walk a lot. Good command, good control. You're still going to get some strikeouts out of him. But one of the things I really wanted this team to acquire at the deadline was another starting pitcher. Probably more than anything. I'm actually, there's a couple bats I wouldn't have minded them getting, but I can live with what the offense is at now. I really can. And I do think they upgrade the offense. I think Canzone and Rojas are both going to be upgrades for this team. Certainly not Rojas today, but as we go along, I think it will be. Miller and Wu have been struggling the last month. Doesn't mean I'm down on them. Doesn't mean they need to go away. But I think you need another starting pitcher on this team. I do. I think you need, with Marco Gonzalez not looking like he's going to come back, and I'm not trying to die on the hill, no pun intended, of Rich Hill, but, you know, and I don't care who it is, Rich Hill, Paul Blackburn, I don't know. I'm escaping names right now. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Michael Lorenzen, you know, whoever it may be, just to alleviate some pressure from Miller and Wu. Just to get a veteran in there that can give you some innings. You can run them to the bone. Who cares? And listen, I don't think any of those guys would have. It's not even so much like, oh, that would have made the Mariners better. It's just to get a little break for Miller and Wu. And also to get the team a little bit something different there. Because just they're hitting a wall. They're getting figured out. That doesn't mean they can't adjust. Like, I think Miller and Wu are going to be fine. I'm more confident in Miller than Wu a little bit, to be honest. But I don't know. They're both, they both got to work on a third pitch here somewhere. Now they can. I'm not, like I said, I'm not down on them, but well, I guess I am a little down right now, but I'm not like trying to get these guys off the roster here. It's just that, you know, a nice veteran at that back end, I think, could have really helped this team. You know, we're in the dog days. We're deep in the dog days of summer now, and they just have not been reliable. And a team that's built on pitching can't have 3/5 of its rotation or 2/5 of the rotation, 40%. Is that 40%? Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't. Oh my gosh, dude, testing my math. That's bad. That's bad. Yeah, 40. Be kind of question marks. They've got upside. They've got stuff. There's no doubt about that. But they're just not reliable enough right now. And I get, like, I'm like Rich Hill and Michael Lorenzen would be super reliable either. They're veterans that are, quite honestly, pretty mediocre. But it just gives you someone in that rotation that, like, you know they can handle the ebbs and flows of it. You know if they get beat up, they're going to move on. You don't have to worry about like working with them on the side too much. Like Rich Hill, you just tell me go out there and do what the heck you've done for 20 years in this league. Get some outs and get us through it. You know, kind of like you did with Matthew Boyd last year. So, yeah, that's that. I thought Trent Thornton looked really good in his Mariners debut. 2 1/3, 1 hit, no walks, 3 Ks. That sweeper slider looked pretty deadly. It looks like a legitimate out pitch. So I was impressed. And Thornton, I like the multiple innings. I know he was a starter at one point. I like that this bullpen, hopefully it's one appearance, can have a guy that is not just one inning reliever. So I liked what I saw out of him today. I thought that was an impressive outing, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of Trent Thornton and maybe someone, he will be someone that can help this team down the stretch. Mariners lose. They have a chance to really gain some ground today. They technically do lose ground on Boston, Texas, and Houston. They don't lose ground on Toronto, the Yankees, or the Angels. Missed opportunities, chances in this game. That first inning, again, this team with the bases loaded, nobody outs, just seems to be a bugaboo for this team. They actually scored the 1 run, then loaded them up with nobody out. Couldn't score, so they essentially left them loaded with nobody out. And again, I'm not asking for 4 runs. Get me 1 more there, 2-0. Canzone makes that catch in the 4th, 2-1. Verdugo home run, 3-2. Now, the game's not going to play out the same, so I shouldn't be doing this, but it's maybe a win. And that's 2 things. I'm asking for 1 more run in the first inning. Even that's not good. If they would have left that inning only scoring 2, we would have said that's disappointing. And that's all I'm asking for. A sac fly, Canzone to make the catch on that Arroyo fly ball, and this game probably changes. You know what I mean? And a sac fly from Mike Ford in the 8th inning. You know, something like that. Like, that's all I'm asking. That's not a lot. Not a lot I'm asking for here. Listen, the team's playing great ball. I can't get too frustrated about 1 loss. We've got a chance to win the series tomorrow with Logan Gilbert on the hill. So like I said, you've got a chance to win this series tomorrow. And that's awesome. That's good. So I can't be too up in arms here. Boston's a good baseball club, but you got a chance here. You had a chance to get to 2.5 back. You had a chance to pass Boston, I believe, in the standings, 56, or tie them and have the tiebreaker over them. So yeah, you would have passed them in the standings. Missed opportunity. Got to get those. The game on Saturday, the game here, both very winnable. The last 2 losses, very winnable games for this team. And they can't afford to throw a lot of those away. Listen, they're going to lose games. They're not going to go 55-0 the rest of the way. But you're going to have games where you get beat 8-0. You just got to move on. Close games, they've got to find a way to pull some of these out. This one was there. It was a very possible win. But, you know, move on. Hopefully get the series win tomorrow. I'm going to head out, everybody. Like I said, check out my video on the Paul Sewald trade. I gave my thoughts on it and my kind of thoughts on the trade deadline. I think we're all disappointed they didn't do something a little more today. And as someone that's defended Jerry, Justin, not the ownership, but I'll defend Jerry, Justin, and Scott. Definitely disappointing. I'll never just jump in and say it sucks because we don't know all of what happened. Like, we don't know every deal that was close to going through and wasn't. I will maintain I think they got a lot of bites on tail from teams. I think it was a quantity of teams, but not a quality of players that they were going to get back. They decided to keep them. I think the same for Ty. I think Tom Murphy might have been something interesting, but I think you keep Murphy, and I think you hopefully re-sign him for next year. And then outside of that, yeah, I would have liked another starter. What am I going to sit here and be like, oh my God, they didn't get Rich Hill? How dare they? Like, well, you know, that's a weak hill to die on from my standpoint. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they can get the series win tomorrow. I'll be back with a post-game video tomorrow. I should be live on Thursday with Sideline Report, not for the Mariners. We're going to do Jets-Browns Hall of Fame game. So I'm going to try out my hand in a little football on Thursday, and I'll have the Mariners post-game up after the Mariners game. So have a great night, everybody, and I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, go Mariners. Take care, everybody. And I got to figure out how to – I'm doing these streams differently. I got to go to the end recording now. So this is that awkward 30 seconds at the end. Have a good night, everybody.